you for tuning in. You're watching the Property Guide in ET Now, your one-stop destination to the Indian property market. If you have any feedback or queries, write to us. Our email ID is at the bottom of your screen. Well, on the show this week, we'll tell you why the proposed mega Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor could be a good bet for your realty investments. We'll discuss Bangalore and Hyderabad as property markets, and in our Meet the Developer segment, we sit down with the Marathon management and discuss the projects they're working on right now. Joining us today on the show, Ashutosh Limay, Head of Research at JLL, and Yashri Kurup, Head of Content and Research at magicbricks.com. So glad to have both of you on the show. Now, on Property Guide, we keep you up to date with very important policy initiatives that would benefit you as investors. Today, we're going to focus on the mega Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor. Now, we know that the Phase 1, covering 84 square kilometre area in Maharashtra, has officially been launched. Today, let's find out what potential impact it could have on the realty sector and which specific pockets stand to gain. Let's take a look at the states in which the corridor passes through, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
The much ambitious and highly delayed Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor has kicked off, with the first phase being launched in Maharashtra. The corridor is a mega infrastructure project planned with a budget of $90 billion, covering 1,438 kilometers between Mumbai and the national capital. The project is also partly funded by Japan. The project envisions 9 mega industrial zones with high-speed freight lines, ports, airports, and 6-lane expressways connecting the two cities. The corridor will pass through 6 major Indian cities of Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Let us take a closer look at the specific investment regions in each of the states. In Uttar Pradesh, the shortlisted investment regions will be Dadri, Noida and Ghaziabad, which will be developed into manufacturing hubs. In Haryana, Manesar and Bawal will be developed as auto component hubs. In Rajasthan, Khushkhera, Bhiwadi and Neemrana will also be developed into auto component hubs. In Madhya Pradesh, Pithampur, Dhar and Mau have been shortlisted as potential investment regions. In Gujarat, Bharuch and Dahej will be developed into petrochemical investment regions. Dholera will have a mega industrial park. And finally, in Maharashtra, Nashik, Igatpuri and Sinnar will be developed into manufacturing hubs. The project is expected to double employment opportunities and boost industrial output.
All right, so that was the Delhi-Mumbai corridor. Ashutosh, when the plan came out, it seemed really impressive. But like most infrastructure plans in this country, it hasn't moved as fast as most people might like to see it. Do you actually expect it to be the game changer that it has promised to be? And how long is it going to be before we finally see the entire corridor ready?
I think it's a certainly game changer project simply because of the scale and the kind of activities the corridor will eventually have are so diversified that it does certainly have a game changer status. But the scale is so mammoth that I think we should give reasonable time for the project to come up. It's going to come up in stages, so we should not expect all sorts of development all the time. If we look at it segment-wise in terms of different corridors, some corridors are going to get developed earlier than some other corridors. And in terms of asset classes, some asset classes will be required ahead of certain other asset classes. So I think in that light or in that scheme of thought, I think this project will do a lot of good things for realty and infrastructure, because in India, unfortunately, unless there is a big project that is planned and implemented, supplementary infrastructure does not really come up. So I think overall in this corridor, the infrastructure quality and provision is going to go up, which will develop the real estate industry as well.
So obviously the areas that it's running through right now are very low ticket size. But for someone who invests at this point, and these are really early days, what sort of time horizon should they be willing to give this project?
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, and the entry barrier being affordable, I think that's the beauty of it, because in most of the city realty projects we have seen that the prices are already at a high. So with that entry barrier, few people can invest. Now, given the low entry size, I think it will enthuse a lot of retail investors. The segments which are closer to the established cities will get developed first. For example, the Rewari corridor in Haryana. Then we have the Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Surat corridor, so which is not solely dependent on DMIC. which has some other economic activities happening also. So these are the areas where the investor can afford to wait for a shorter period, book the appreciation and exit if he chooses to.
Jashi, when you look at the website right now, is the needle moving in any of the hubs on this, Delhi-Mumbai corridor, or is it still Ahmedabad that's showing the most interest among investors?
Currently, it is Ahmedabad, say, but if you look at the places closer to the Delhi region, there is some amount of interest in the Rewari region, but I don't think it's driven by the DMIC at all. It is because there has been an expansion of the Gurgaon developments into very close to Rewari, and you know that there is a future prospect because the DMIC is coming up. In fact, here I would like to caution investors and say that don't invest very early on in the cycle. The best way to make money out of real estate is knowing when to invest and when to exit. When you invest, look for an exit plan, and if your exit plan is more than 5 years, I don't think you get the best returns. Maybe it's better that you park your money in shares and that kind of thing, and then invest at the right time when you know that the markets are going to take off in the next 5 years.
So if they're getting in at this point, then like you said, there are various options. There are plots of land, there are homes you can buy, there might also be apartments in some cases. What would you recommend they focus on? What do you think would get the highest resale value if they're looking to make an investment?
I think it will be land because I think that's the commodity which always remains in short supply. And housing, I don't think we have enough industrial activities set up there yet to get a rental income or to get appreciation in say 3 to 5 years. I think for that one has to wait longer. But for land, the longer one waits, the better the appreciation is.
But Jayshree, if we're talking about buying land here, irrespective of the Delhi-Mumbai corridor, around Ahmedabad and around Delhi, where do you expect the higher return to come in for investors who get in at this point and just buy land?
Say the retail investors, if they buy land closer to the established areas, it should be actually these are not driven by the DMIC so much as being peripheral to the city development. So if you have got the city, the suburb and the periphery, this is a periphery of the periphery, if you know what I mean. So therefore you're buying land, but the risks are high, and a small investor should only purchase land here if he knows that he can protect the land.
So we do know that we're looking at a brand new government in less than a few weeks, in fact, so it might make sense to hold your horses in this one. Let's take a few questions. Sanjay has written in, he wants to buy a home in Mumbai with a budget of 2 crore rupees. He's looking for a property that will give him a return of 10% plus appreciation annually over the next 10 years. Give him some options. 2 crore rupees is not a bad budget for Mumbai. Which areas would you recommend would give him that kind of return?
I think many suburban locations will offer him this budget corresponding properties. Most of Thane and most of Navi Mumbai will have properties coming into that budget. But I think 10 years is a very safe period for any real estate investment. So without worrying too much about investment on an annual basis, if he wants to stay invested for 10 years, 10% per annum appreciation is given
in Mumbai anyways. All right. Jayshree, do you agree 10% annually in Mumbai is a given anyways, irrespective of which part of the city you're in? And having said that, what would you recommend he does with his 2 crore rupees? Where should he be buying that apartment?
You've got Kandivali East and West, Malad West, Borivali West, Andheri East and West and Goregaon. You've got properties that are coming up, which means that you're entering early on in the cycle and you have a option of growth in the next 3 to 4 years. I think these are the good options for him.
All right, since we're on it and we're talking about Mumbai, Jayshree, I'm also going to ask you another question. Ritam S has written in, he wants to buy an apartment in Mumbai or Navi Mumbai. Budget is smaller, 1 to 1.25 crore rupees. He's interested in Ulve, but he's concerned about the location's social infrastructure. He says it's going to take, and rightfully so, about 3 years before the area is livable at all. Help me with an under construction option in the delivery timeline of 2 to 3 years. Jayshree, within Navi Mumbai, he's going to have to maybe look at Kharghar or Panvel, perhaps, if he's looking at buying something in that budget?
Yes, I think Kharghar and Panvel, places where the infrastructure is developed or developing already, seems to be a better option than going for Ulve, where infrastructure planning and development is going to take a much longer time frame. So, say I would really wonder why he's looking at Ulve and not other areas, because today in Navi Mumbai there are lots of options and they fit his budget. So, I would say that do your research better in the Navi Mumbai area. If you still think Ulve is the place where you want to invest, invest knowing full well that the infrastructure is going to take time. It's not going to happen in a hurry.
Well, Ashutosh, we are getting a lot of questions about Ulve. People seem to think that, okay, there's a new airport that's coming up that side. There's a lot of buzz about infrastructure as well. What is your response to Ulve right now? And, you know, it's right. It's going to take 3 years before the area becomes even livable. What's your advice to someone who's considering Ulve?
I think that's one of those areas which is dependent on only one major infrastructure initiative, which is the new airport. It is always risky. We have had cases of Nagpur's Mihan, wherein too much was said about it, and when that project did not take off in anticipated time, things just fizzled out. So I think it's always risky to invest in areas which are so directly and solely linked with a mega development. If something goes wrong with that, then one is stuck. And we have seen Ulve's prices fluctuating directly with the decisions or results of the airport-related developments. So I think as a retail investor, I think one is better off avoiding that kind of situation. And it's not that Navi Mumbai does not have any other options. So we have plenty of options elsewhere.
All right, always risky. What we're going to do is, before we go into break, I'm going to give you a list of projects that have been recommended in the Navi Mumbai area within the budgets of 1 to 2 crore rupees, as have been asked by our viewers. And then we'll come back and talk about Hyderabad and Bangalore. Don't go anywhere.
If you're looking for a home in Mumbai or Navi Mumbai, here are some options. In Mumbai, Regalia by Ajmera Group, Residency by ZS Housing and Construction, Kul Radiance by Kumar Urban Development. In Navi Mumbai, Eleganza by Bhagwati Group, Casa Grande by Moraj Group, and Atlantis by Neil Siddhi Enterprises.
Welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide on ET Now. Thank you for staying with us. Both Jayashree and Ashutosh are with us as well, helping us make smart decisions when it comes to buying property. Let's take another question. Pavan has written in. He wants to buy a 2 or a 3-bedroom apartment in Hyderabad with a budget of 40 lakh rupees. Now, he shortlisted some locations. He's looking at Madhapur, Hi-Tech City and Gachibowli. Please give him some options. Jayashree, I know Hyderabad is your pet right now. Give him options within these 3 locations. Which ones do you think he can afford with a 40 lakh budget, and what should he look at?
Within his budget in all 3 areas, say, if I look at the website, he has options. In Madhapur, because the prices are a little higher, he would be able to get a 2-bedroom of about 1,000 square feet, 1,050 or so. If he looks at Gachibowli and Hi-Tech City, where roughly, you know, it's about 2,700 to about 3,500 per square foot. So he should be able to get either a 2 or a 3 BHK apartment. A 2 BHK of about, I think, 1,000 to 1,200, and a 3 BHK of about 1,200 to 1,300. 1,400 he should be able to get.
Well, Ashutosh, Hyderabad and the state altogether will be going into both central and state elections fairly soon. How much of the turnaround that we're expecting to see in Hyderabad will depend on the election outcome? And for someone who's looking to buy in Hyderabad right now, what advice would you give them?
I don't think the elections will have too much of impact on real estate there. The thing is, Hyderabad was a victim of political uncertainty for a lot of time, and in that period, Hyderabad struggled. There were very few new launches. There were very few new announcements. So whatever stock that was getting created was steadily getting absorbed. And today we are at a situation where there aren't too many new options coming in, which I think the situation will change. But the existing inventory is fairly under control. So for an investor, I think it's a good time to enter, because Hyderabad is still one of the most reasonable cities. correspondingly it has got far superior infrastructure. And the three areas which our friend listed, Madhapur, Gachibowli, High Tech City, they are really the active areas of Hyderabad.
Rejoy has written in, wants to invest in a 2,000 or 2,400 square foot plot of land in Bangalore with a price range of 1,500 to 2,000 rupees a square foot. He's shortlisted some locations, Hebbal and Yelahanka. Give him some options. Jayashree, we know Hebbal and Yelahanka have severe water problems right now. But other than that, does it make sense for him to buy land in those locations? Should he be looking at one of those gated communities?
Yes, I think so. He should be looking at places in both Hebbal and Yelahanka. He does have developers who are offering plots of land within gated communities, and I think that would be the best option. Considering the water problems and civic infrastructure problems, it should be a longer term investment. But I think he should be able to get. If you look at Hebbal and Yelahanka, both places, he should be able to get about 2,300, 2,400 square feet plots. And if he looks at other places in Bangalore, he probably, roughly you're talking about 40 to 45 lakh. And you should be able to get, even in Electronic City or Kanakpura Road, you should be able to get.
All right. And if you're buying land in Bangalore, remember you have to be very careful about whether or not that's BDA approved land, what sort of kata, papers, everything. You have to be especially careful when you're buying land anywhere in the country, Bangalore in particular. Write in to us if you have any more questions. Chaitanya has written in, he's looking for a 4-bedroom apartment in Noida with a flexible budget of 2 crore rupees. He's looking for an apartment with modern and luxurious amenities. Now, his workplace is in Ravali in Ghaziabad. Now, Ashutosh, for someone like him, are there enough options within that budget in Noida?
Absolutely. I think Noida is a place where with good infrastructure, you get a lot of choice of properties, both in terms of configuration, in terms of campus or gated community level amenities or ambience, etc. And we have several reputed developers who are doing good projects there. We have IREO, we have Amrapali, we have JP Group, we have 3C, we have Unitech, the list goes on. And what it means is a buyer has really good options to choose from. And Noida to Ghaziabad commute is a fairly pleasant one. So given the other areas in NCR and the traffic issues, I think Noida is a good place to live if somebody is working in Ghaziabad with this much of choice available. All
right, Jayashree, I'm going to come to you now. When you look at Noida right now, obviously since he's so particular, he'd probably be better off looking at something that's ready to occupy. Within the ready to occupy options available to him, is there anything that fits his bill? And he's being so specific. He wants a walking park, he wants greenery. What do you have on the website right now that will suit him?
We just scanned the website and found three or four projects which are advertised on the site. They are available. You can pick up these projects. There is Pratik groups, in sector 107. We have the Amrapali Eden Park, which is in sector 50, and we also have Eldeco Infrastructures project, again meeting his specification. We actually ran his specifications on the site and found that he has projects where he can invest. Actually, just to go a step further from what Ashutosh said, there is an underpass that has come up between Ghaziabad and Noida, which has actually eased the traffic problems to a very large extent. And this is the reason why people working in Ghaziabad are looking actively at Noida. Some of them are also looking at Greater Noida, but if you're looking at what Chaitanya is looking at, he's looking at premium properties. That is not available in Greater Noida. It's a more affordable destination. But Noida certainly has lots and lots of options for him, and this is a good time to buy because after the elections we expect these regions to significantly bump up prices.
All right, Jayashree telling you it's a good time to buy, Ashutosh agreeing. And if you have questions for both of our experts, remember, you can write to us on the email ID that's on your screen right now. Both of them come in after doing so much homework and bring in all of the options for you. Ashutosh and Jayashree, thank you so much for spending time with us this week. It's such a pleasure to chat with you. When we come back from this break, we'll sit down with the Marathon Group management and talk about what they have in the pipeline right now. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide on ET now. It's time for our Meet the Developer segment. Joining us today, Mayur Shah, Managing Director at the Marathon Group in Mumbai. Mayur, you were quoted lately in one of the newspapers talking about the fact that you believe that after the elections, prices of property in Mumbai will go up 5 to 15%. Now, granted, it's in the interest of a developer to say that prices will go up, but tell us, why do you believe that?
In my opinion, like last 3 to 6 months, people have been on wait and watch kind of a mood, you know. Once a stable government in center, I think that perception and the sentiment will definitely change. And typically, the supply situation in MMRDA region is not so strong. The approvals have not really taken place very quicker, particularly environmental clearances, the rules being changed quite often in this location. So the approval process from purchasing of a land to starting a work is at least 18 to 24 months, and that really delays the new project launches in Mumbai and surrounding area. So one side there will be a good demand picking up, supply in my opinion will not be able to catch up, and you will see 5 to 15% increase in the prices.
Well, it has been a rough year all around for the real estate industry. What have sales been like, especially for this festive season for you that has ended this quarter with Gudi Padwa? What sort of sales have you seen this year?
The December quarter was really bad, but I think from Jan to March we have seen sales picking up and sentiment really improving it. And Gudi Padwa, I think we across our sales office we saw a lot of checks being collected in the Mumbai area.
All right, you know what, Mayur, I'm going to be honest with you. We get a lot of questions from viewers who write in saying that in spite of the fact that it's been a bad year, in spite of the fact that there have been delays in the market, some with your company as well, property developers are refusing to bring prices down. That property and the prices of homes within the city of Mumbai are completely unaffordable for the middle class. Everything is priced above 1.5 crore rupees and upwards. What is your response to customers who are watching right now who are, I'll be honest with you, upset about the fact that they cannot afford to buy homes in this city?
See, the major hurdle for any real estate developer within Mumbai is a land, and the land prices are not at all coming down. The land prices are increasing every year, and plus the approval process is putting a lot of pressure on the input cost of a real estate developer. Plus the construction material costs are really not going down anyway. So altogether, all in all, input costs have not really been there, and not like 2007 and 2008. There is a margin available for a developer to really cut down on the prices, other than what he can do is normal promotions.
We also have projects right now in Panvel and Badlapur. Are these low-cost projects? Take us through what you're working on.
Marathon is looking at creating close to 25,000 homes, what we call next generation homes, and it's been branded at NEX, Next Homes. One of the Next Homes project, Next Zone, has already been launched at Panvel. It's more than 5,000 flats mini township. It's a kind of a aspirational class type of amenities, like you have a swimming pool, clubhouse, there's a very good outdoor sports activity like cricket, multi-purpose court, and very well landscaped gardens. Above all, it's a very, very fast construction technology where floor-to-floor cycle can be completed in 6 to 8 days. So this is typically Next Homes, which we are looking at Panvel, and very soon we will be launching in Kalyan Dombivli area the mini townships of Next Town and Next World. On a similar thing, we have still further low-cost housing project within the range of 18 to 25 lakhs is Marathon Nagari NX, which is in Badlapur. These are again typically 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, very, very compact, but at the same time using one of the latest technology of Marathon, again aluminum shuttering technology.
All right, Mayur, many thanks for spending time with us this afternoon and answering all of our questions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so that's a wrap on Property Guide. Remember, you can send in any question you have to the email ID that's at the bottom of your screen. Write in to us. You can also reach me on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching.